America's longest war ended yesterday at 3:29 p.m. Eastern Time. That's when that photo you just showed was taken of the commanding general of the 82nd Airborne being the last American boot on the ground in Afghanistan, as that last flight out of Kabul yesterday left the airport in the capital city in the hands of the Taliban. And unfortunately, Joe, U.S. officials acknowledged that there were Americans who were not able to get out, who were left behind in Afghanistan. Antony Blinken, the Secretary of State, yesterday said that there were under 200 Americans who still wanted to leave, who remain in Afghanistan now. The U.S. now has suspended its diplomatic presence in Kabul. It's transferred operations to Doha, Qatar. So for now, the diplomatic operation will be from a distance in terms of dealing with Afghanistan. The U.S. is going to work to reopen the Kabul airport for civilian traffic as soon as possible. And the commitment, he said, to get our Afghan allies out has no deadline. So that mission is going to be ongoing. How they're going to get out, though, is the trick. Blinken explained yesterday what's going to happen next. Here's what he said.
We're also working to identify ways to support Americans, legal permanent residents, and Afghans who have worked with us and who may choose to depart via overland routes. We have no illusion that any of this will be easy or rapid. This will be an entirely different phase from the evacuation that just concluded.
Now, General Kenneth McKenzie, he's the head of CENTCOM, said yesterday in a briefing with reporters at the Pentagon that there was a logic to why the United States decided to leave, even as there are some Americans still left behind. Here's what he said.
There's a lot of heartbreak associated with this departure. We did not get everybody out that we wanted to get out. But I think if we'd stayed another 10 days, Louis, we wouldn't have gotten everybody out that we wanted to get out. And there still would have been people who would have been disappointed with it.
So the calculation was for force protection, that is the U.S. soldiers and Afghan soldiers who were guarding that airport, that ultimately the risk of taking on more casualties overwhelmed the potential benefit of getting any more Americans out. As General McKenzie said there, you heard, they didn't think that they could get to those Americans in anytime soon. So the decision was made to proceed with the departure. Now the Taliban has taken over the country. Taliban officials speaking at the airport overnight, and we will hear from the President of the United States today at 1:30 in the White House, and he's going to have to explain sort of the history of this war, the context of what the United States achieved and failed to achieve in this war that we have now lost, and explain his decision to withdraw all American troops here before the September 11th, 20th anniversary of the September 11th attacks in 2001. Joe, back over to you.
Scary, Eamon, that we remember. I was in New York. We remember September 11th. Some of those heroes that did pass away were toddlers or barely born. They were months old when it happened. So they don't even.
The Marines killed this week, yeah.
I don't even remember.
It's amazing.
They were toddlers. It's really incredible that it's gone that long. The 200 Americans want to leave. Are there some that, is it a bigger number of people that, I don't know, what would cause you to want to stay in Afghanistan? I guess, I don't know, family or business.
What Blinken said yesterday is he thinks it's under 200, maybe closer to 100. They don't have a good handle on that number that want to leave. And they don't know how many total, apparently. And what they're saying is that there's some mix of, dual nationals who have dual citizenship, or people who have family commitments to folks in Afghanistan and don't want to leave those folks who are maybe not U.S. citizens behind. A whole range of mixes of individual personal circumstances. But they're saying that there are American citizens who wanted to leave and they just couldn't get to them.
Eamon,
so now you heard him talking about those overland routes out. You can imagine what a perilous journey that would be for anybody holding an American passport.